video is like so like, it seems like it's like common sense. What do I mean by this? I'm gonna get into this right now. Probably might go on side rants as well, but the topic of this video is gonna be about don't be stupid. Now this is like, it seems like, you know, this is common sense. Don't be stupid.
Hey guys, I'm Professor Smartass here, and I'm going to teach you now, guys, how not to be a dumbass, guys. Basically, guys, all you gotta do, guys, don't be stupid, guys. All you gotta do, guys, is read a book or two. Make sure you listen to the teacher in school. Make sure you're learning things from the internet. You watch documentaries a lot. You do all these important things, guys. And you'll be a super smart person like me. I'm Professor Smartass, guys. You gotta make sure, guys, that you're reading your books, guys. You're listening to the teacher, guys. You're doing all those important sorts of things, guys. If you don't do that, guys, you're gonna be you're gonna be a bum, guys. You're not gonna have any money coming your way. You're not gonna get into any type of good job. You're just gonna become like a hobo for the rest of your life, guys. Listen to me, I'm Professor Smartass, guys. You have to listen to me, guys. Don't be stupid, guys. Make the right intellectual moves. Do the right things with your brain. Engage with the teacher, and you'll be a good person. You'll be successful for the rest of your life.
Don't be stupid. What do I mean by stupid? Like, don't do things at the detriment of your own personal life, at the detriment of your like physical well-being. Don't be stupid. Don't be naive. Don't be like poorly informed. Don't be stupid. This seems like it's so like, this is common sense, but you know, I know you, whoever you are that's watching this video, I know you and me, we both know that there's quite a lot of idiots in this world. You know, there's a lot of people that are in this world that are very like dumb in the head. They don't really think too deeply and contemplate. I know in my personal life, I've known so many people, they were just like very reckless. They were very stupid. They were like very like short-sighted. They did so many different sorts of things at the detriment of their own personal health, at the detriment of their financial wealth and health as well, at the detriment of like all different sorts of aspects of their personal life. I know me in my personal life, for example, when I was growing up, I remember a bunch of like kids, and they'll be climbing fences, doing all these like stupid things. Some of them would get hurt, and you know, blah blah blah, and then they would be like crying and all that. It's kind of like, but that, obviously they were kids and I was a kid, so I don't know, maybe you can't really blame them too much. But don't be stupid, especially
guys. Professor Smartass here, guys. I'm telling you, guys, if you're not willing to be more smart, educated, knowledgeable, if you're not willing to take on board other people's ideas and beliefs, you're probably most likely going to be a failure. You're not going to get anywhere in your life. You're not going to be able to become successful if you're not willing to be flexible with that brain inside of your head. If you're not willing to use that, you're probably going to be not successful at all. Professor Smartass here, and I'm here to tell you now that you must be willing to use a little bit of like curiosity, being willing to learn from other people. If you're not willing to learn from other people, to be curious, to be flexible with your brain, you're probably, most definitely likely going to not become successful at all, and you're probably going to be a bum, and you're probably going to turn into a person that doesn't have a lot of money. You have to be willing to learn. That's so important.
as like a young adult, because I'm 21 now, used to be 2019, but damn, getting old, getting older is so nightmarishly sad. It's not even in my control though, but 21 now, I'm a young adult. Being stupid. Don't be stupid. That's so important. Don't be stupid. Develop a good head on your shoulders. I know this sounds like it's common sense. Really, is it common sense? What do I mean by don't be stupid? Don't do things that are at the detriment of your own personal health, your own personal well-being, your personal finances. This sounds like it's common sense, but you know, there's so many people that drink alcohol, smoke, and do drugs and cocaine and heroin. That's what I mean by don't be stupid. Don't go down that type of path. If this was common, I know it's a lot of you probably, I know you, for example, you probably most likely think that this is like common sense, but is it really common sense? Don't be stupid, because I know we both know that there's like so many people in this world, they do drugs, they drink alcohol, they do all these like bad habits, and it's like, don't be stupid. It's like it would appear to be like common sense that, oh right, do the right things, don't do the bad things, don't do things that damage your health. It appears to be like common sense, but is it actually common sense? Because we both know that there's so many people in this world that they do drugs, they drink alcohol, they do all these like insane, ludicrous things, and they end up like ruining their own lives, but they don't really know any better. And that's kind of that is always like, to me, it's like so funny that I know certain people, they just get into the habit of like drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes. Oh, now the person thinks to himself, oh, now my life's getting worse. Oh, I'm getting lung cancer, what, blah, blah, blah. Don't be stupid. Think so carefully about what your like sort of like your life choices and the decisions that you make on a daily basis. Those decisions that would appear to be like unimportant, those decisions are actually very important, you know? The decision to like smoke like cigarettes, do drugs, and whatever you want to call it, these like small decisions that seem to be like unimportant, they are actually very profound. Those little things that
You must, I tell you, you must be willing to take on board other people's ideas, to have a flexible mindset and mentality. That is so important. If you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to be flexible, to take on board other people's ideas and other people's like interpretations of the world, if you're not willing to like be less stubborn, you're probably not going to get anywhere with your life, and you're probably not going to be successful, and you're probably not going to make a lot of money. You have to be willing to take on board other people's ideas, and that is so important and essential. And if you don't do that, you're probably going to be not really successful at all for the entirety of your life. You must be willing to learn. You must be willing to be more flexible with your mind. Having the ability to learn from others is so important. That's so important. So important.
you choose to do on a day-to-day basis, it actually kind of determines everything in the end. But don't be stupid, guys. Really think. Don't be stupid. Not guys, I'm talking to you. This is a one-on-one thing. I'm talking to you. Whoever, if you're watching this video, I'm talking to you. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Have a good head on your shoulders. Weigh the pros and cons of everything that you do. That is so important, that you actually learn how to do that. You learn how to weigh the pros and cons. If I do this, is that good for me or is that bad for me? If I do this, whatever it may be, maybe like drinking alcohol, smoking weed, doing drugs, you gotta learn how to weigh the pros and cons. That's so important. Pros and cons in your head. Picture like that type of weight thingy that people that you know, in those crime movies. I don't know. Is it in crime movies or is it like those sorts of? I don't know where it comes from. Like the weigh thing in the law. You know, in the law, the lawyer has like that thing. I don't know. That's what you need to think about. Weigh the pros and the cons. So important that you think about that. Any type of like decision that you're gonna make in your head, think about that weighing thing, weighing the pros or the cons. You gotta think about that so deeply and carefully. Think about it carefully. Weigh the pros and the cons. Weigh the pros and the cons. You gotta think about that. You, whoever you are that's watching this video, you have to weigh the pros and the cons of all the different sorts of decisions that you might be making on your daily life, on a day-to-day basis. Is it going to be good for me or is it going to be bad for me? Knowing how to weigh the pros and the cons, that is so important. So important. You know that you probably have made like a lot of bad decisions in the past. That's because you, whoever you are is watching this video, you weren't familiar with this concept of like weighing the pros and the cons. You didn't have that ability to decide, okay, is this good for me?
Hi, you guys, I'm here to teach you a thing or two. You must now, the first thing I'm going to teach you is the ability, you must be willing to learn, having the curiosity. In order to learn, you must be curious. In order to be curious, you need to like be less stubborn and ignorant. And in order to be less stubborn and ignorant, you need to like kind of look inside your brain and get rid of like all those like horrible like thoughts about being like not like a know-it-all. You need to know that you don't know anything and you need to know that you must learn more. That's so important. You gotta be willing to learn. Don't be stupid. The willingness to learn, that is so important. If you're not willing to learn, not gonna make it anywhere in this world, probably gonna be a failure, not gonna get anywhere. I tell you, you gotta be willing to learn. That is number one on any type of to-do list, the willingness to learn, to be more learned.
Is this gonna be good for me or is this gonna be bad for me? Understanding that is so important. Knowing how to weigh the pros and the cons is so important. Knowing how to weigh the pros and the cons. Got some mark on my nose, damn. It was a spot that I popped and stuff, and I got that stuff on my nose. Knowing how to weigh the pros and the cons. Super, super duper important. Is this going to be good for me or is this going to be bad for me? Don't be stupid. That is like the topic of this video. Don't be stupid. And a part of not being stupid is understanding how to weigh the pros and the cons related to like your life choices and decisions. You might have like a plethora of decisions that you're making on a day-to-day basis. Not knowing, you must learn how to weigh the pros and the cons. What is good for me, what is bad for me. That is so, so important. Understanding how to weigh the pros and the cons in your day-to-day life. A lot of us, I know you certainly, in your past history, you probably made a bunch of dumb mistakes and decisions. And you have to suffer the consequences, which is something else that you have to learn in life, that whatever you do, just be ready to suffer the consequences of your actions. Don't be stupid. Understanding like the fact that all those decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis, the daily choices and decisions, the daily tasks that you do, all these choices and decisions, they are quite determining in the end of everything. Don't be stupid, understanding how to make the right choices, the right investments, the right whatever you want to call it. So important and profound. You're actually like somewhat intellectual as well. I think it also ties into that, like just having like a good understanding of like economics knowledge about life and a bunch of different sorts of life.
Hi! Make sure you listen to the teacher and to whoever's trying to educate you. Education is so powerful. Education can save your life. Education is, I don't know, the pen is more powerful than the sword, and blah, 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 blah. And don't be stupid, and make sure you're aware of the consequences, and you're knowledgeable, and you're not ignorant, and you're not dumb. Stupid. Don't be stupid. So important. Being open-minded, having that curiosity to learn. Without that, you can't get anywhere if you don't have that, if you don't have the curiosity and the willingness to learn from others and to incorporate new knowledge into your brain. If you're gonna be stubborn, you're not gonna get anywhere. And I'm Professor Smartass, and you have to take my opinion seriously. And it's so important that you have that willingness to learn, that curiosity. That's what takes you far in life. Things as well, having like a good like amount of knowledge in your head is so important. Being like well learned, understanding like dense literature, not understanding, reading like books about like medicine, etc. All these sorts of medicine. What am I talking about? Not at all. But don't be stupid. That is like so important. We both know that it's like kind of like it's a little bit kind of. A lot of the times it's like so like a lot of this can be like kind of like goes over your head. But don't be stupid. It's like understanding how to weigh the pros and the cons regarding like related to like any sort of like major life choices and decisions. Whether or not I should date this specific girl, whether or not I should do drugs and drink alcohol. In your head, before you make any of these like serious decisions in life, just learn how to weigh the pros and the cons. That's so important. So many of us, we don't really know how to do that. A lot of us, we are like so ignorant. We're so ignorant. We're so like naive and dumb. A lot of us, we don't really know how to weigh the pros and the cons, which is so important. The pros and the cons, the negatives and the positives, whatever you want to call it. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Understand how to make the right choices in life, the right decisions, the right sort of like, I guess what would be the correct terminology? The right move on a chess playing board. Don't be stupid. You have to. It sounds like it's like, oh, why are you telling me don't be stupid? This is like common sense. Is it common sense? Because we both know that there's like so many people in this world that they do drugs and alcohol. They do all these like bad habits and choices. It would appear to us, to me and you, to be like that is like so obvious that you should not be drinking alcohol, doing drugs, doing these like bad things that deteriorate your health. But a lot of people still continue down that sort of like life path trajectory, and that's why this is like so like amusing to me and bewildering. But don't be stupid, guys. Develop a good head on your shoulders. Improve your general knowledge about the world. You must try and do that. Become more intellectual, using more common sense, not just relying on feelings and instincts.
Because, you know, a lot of us, we both know that there's so many like idiots in this world, and it's kind of like, can be amusing sometimes, but think about this so carefully.
And that is so important that you learn, that you have curiosity, and that you open your mind up a little bit and you don't stay ignorant and dumb. The willingness to learn, that's what's going to take you far in this life. The willingness to learn, to be open-minded, to be curious about the world around you, that's what takes you far. Being stubborn and ignorant, that's what's going to lead you down a cliff. The willingness to learn, to be educated, to be knowledgeable, willingness to incorporate other people's like knowledge into your own knowledge, and to become more educated and more knowledgeable in general. It's so important. Not being stubborn, not being dumb and ignorant, that's what's going to turn your life upside down and throw your life off a cliff. If you're not willing to learn, you're going to be so much worse off, I'm telling you. 100%, I'm telling you, the willingness to learn is so important. I'm telling you like somebody that you know. I'm telling you like your father.